I bit off my abusive ex's dick. And I have zero regrets. Listen before you start judging me, just know that this wasn't premeditated. I didn't wake up one morning and think, you know what would make today great? Castrating my ex with my bare teeth. But when the moment came, I didn't hesitate. And honestly, do it again. So my ex, let's call him Derek, was the definition of human garbage. At first he was all sweet, charming, making me feel like the luckiest girl alive. But like every Lifetime movie villain, he had a mask. And once it slipped, it was too late. First it was small things. He started controlling me. What I wore, who I talked to, where I went. Classic abuser playbook. Then he started isolating me. If I wanted to see my friends, he'd sulk, guilt-trip me, start fights until I gave up. If I went out anyway, silent treatment for days. Eventually my friends stopped inviting me places. Then he started checking my phone constantly, accusing me of cheating if I so much as got a text from my boss. And when words stopped being enough to control me, the hitting started. The first time he hit me, he swore it was an accident. The second time he swore it was my fault. I should have left. I know that. But when you're in it, when you're beaten down physically, emotionally, mentally, you start thinking you deserve it. That leaving isn't even an option. That this is just your life now. For 2 years, I put up with his jealous rages, mind games, and physical abuse. Until finally one night I snapped. And by snapped, I mean used my God-given molars to turn this man's life into a literal horror story. It started like any other shitty night. We were arguing again. He had gone through my phone, convinced I was cheating, I wasn't, and was screaming in my face like a rabid dog. This time he wasn't just yelling. He was pacing, punching the walls, muttering to himself. I knew that look. That was the look he got before he hit me. I tried to walk away, but he grabbed me, slammed me against the wall, his hands around my throat. I couldn't breathe. I could feel my pulse hammering in my ears. Thought, this is it. He's gonna kill me this time. And then, he let go. Not out of guilt. Not out of mercy. 'Cause he decided he wanted something else. He dragged me to the bedroom and started tearing at my clothes. I was too weak to fight him off. Too dizzy from nearly passing out. And I remember thinking, I'd rather die than let this happen again. And then something inside me just switched. Something primal. Some fight or flight instinct that skipped flight and went straight to F** in war. ***. As he shoved me down, as he forced himself into my mouth, I didn't hesitate. Bit down. Hard. The way this man screamed. I will cherish that sound for the rest of my life. Blood. Freeware. He fell back, howling, hands clutching his now mangled excuse for a manhood. I spat out what I could because ew. And ran like my life depended on it. 'Cause honestly, did. I didn't stop running until I made it to my neighbor's house, banging on their door like a lunatic. They opened up, saw me covered in blood, and called the cops before I even had to ask. Police show up. They find Derek rolling on the floor, crying like a little bitch. I tell them everything. They arrest him immediately. And guess what? Turns out, Derek already had a record. I wasn't his first victim. But thanks to my little oral surgery, I was the last. Dude got sent to prison. Doctors couldn't fully fix what I did. And now, he gets to live the rest of his life without the one thing he valued the most. And me. I'm free. And I don't regret a single thing.
I accidentally chopped off my brother's finger, and now he won't shut up about it. Before you start judging me, I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to be the villain in some gruesome family horror story. It was a complete accident. But does my brother let me forget it? Absolutely **ing not. Let me take you back to how this nightmare started. So, my younger brother, let's call him Jake, is the type of dude who has zero self-preservation instincts. Like, the kid once tried to jump over a moving car because he saw in a movie. So, looking back, maybe I should have known that giving him access to sharp objects was a bad idea. But at the time, we were just two dumbass messing around in the garage. We had recently discovered a new hobby, knife throwing. Because, what could possibly go wrong? It started off simple. We set up a wooden target, took turns throwing some cheap Amazon throwing knives, and acted like we were badass assassins. But then Jake, being Jake, decides we need to make it more interesting. Jake, let's do a trick shot. Me, dude, no. Jake, come on, don't be AP*Y. And that's how we ended up with Jake holding a soda can on top of a wooden block, while I, an untrained idiot, attempted to slice the can in half with a F*ing hatchet. Yes, a hatchet. I wish I could tell you I hesitated, that I thought, maybe this isn't the best idea. Nope, my dumb ass went full Viking mode and swung. And you know what? I did hit the can, and also Jake's left index finger. I didn't even realize it at first. There was just this split second where he looked down, eyes wide, and then he just starts screaming. I dropped the hatchet, looked down, and there it is, his F*ing finger, on the floor, cue full-on panic mode. I grabbed the severed finger like I'm defusing a bomb, screaming, "Holy SHD, holy SHD," while Jake is just standing there, holding his bloody stump like a cartoon character. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to wrap his hand up, shove the finger into a Ziploc bag with ice, and drag him to the car while he's still screaming at me about how MOM is going to *ing kill you. We get to the ER. I'm shaking so bad, I almost crash into the parking lot. And the moment we step inside, Jake dramatically yells, "My brother *ing hatchet me." The nurses all turn and look at me like I'm a serial killer. Great. Long story short, they actually reattach his finger, but it's a little off now. It doesn't bend right, and he loves to show it off like it's a damn party trick. And now, he won't shut the F** up about it. **. Every family gathering? Remember when you hatchet me? Introducing me to people? Oh, yeah, this is my brother. He chopped off my finger. Ordering food? Gonna need a discount. I only have 9.5 fingers thanks to this guy. Even worse, he tells girls about it. And for some reason, they love it. Like, excuse me, how does nearly losing a body part make you more attractive? Never give a hatchet to an idiot. Or trust your dumbass brother to hold the target.
My roommate is a lesbian, and I cheated on my boyfriend with her. Even though I'm straight. Okay, so let me start by saying I did not plan for this to happen. I wasn't some curious straight girl looking for an experiment, or whatever. I had a boyfriend. A perfectly good, normal, manly man boyfriend. And then somehow, I found myself in my roommate's bed, tangled up in her, realizing I had just made the biggest, horniest, most confusing mistake of my life. Let me back up. So my roommate, let's call her Lena, is everything I am not. Confident, outspoken, covered in tattoos. Always in some kind of baggy pants and tank top that somehow makes her even hotter. She's also very openly a lesbian. Like I knew from day one that I was not her type and she was not mine. She even jokingly told me when we first moved in, "Don't worry, princess, your virtue is safe with me." About that. For the first few months we were just normal roommates. We got along great. She'd roast me for watching trashy reality TV. I'd make fun of her for being obsessed with indie movies where nothing happens. And then, my relationship started going to *T. I had been with my boyfriend, let's call him Jason, for almost 2 years. And at first it was fine. He was sweet, thoughtful, the whole package. But recently, he had become so *king boring. Like he would rather play video games than have sex. He'd rather scroll his phone than actually talk to me. I'd show up to his place dressed like a walking sin and he'd be like, "Babe, can we just cuddle?" I was going crazy. "Lena," she noticed. "You are way too hot to be this sexually frustrated," she said one night while we were drinking in our tiny-ass kitchen. "I'm just saying." I laughed it off, but something about the way she said it stuck with me. Like she had this look in her eyes. I told myself I was imagining it. I was straight. I had a boyfriend. This was just drunken nonsense. Right. So one night Jason and I get into a huge fight. I don't even remember what it was about. Probably something stupid like him forgetting our anniversary or breathing too loud. But I was pissed, and instead of staying over, I stormed back to my apartment. Lena was there, sitting on the couch in her stupid baggy sweatpants, looking way too attractive for someone who wasn't even trying. "Rough night?" she asked, smirking. I groaned, flopped onto the couch, and word vomited my entire relationship crisis to her. The lack of passion, the boring conversations, the fact that my boyfriend felt more like my emotionally unavailable brother than a lover. She listened, like really listened. And then she said, "You don't actually like him anymore, do you?" I opened my mouth to argue, but nothing came out. Because Cked. Maybe she was right. Then she looked at me. And not in a normal roommate way. Like in a "I know exactly how to fix your problem" way. And before I could stop myself, I blurted out, "Have you ever been with a straight girl before?" The way she smirked. "Sweetheart," she said, leaning in, "you have no idea." And that's how I ended up in my lesbian roommate's bed, realizing that maybe I was not as straight as I thought. I woke up the next morning naked, sore, and 100% regretting nothing. Lena. She was completely chill. She just stretched, smirked, and said, "So, how's your sexuality doing today?" And me. I was having a full-blown King crisis. Like I had a boyfriend. Man. I was supposed to be straight. But also, that was the best sex of my life. Like, no offense to Jason, but damn. So now, I'm stuck in this disaster of my own making. Jason doesn't know. Lena is acting like nothing happened. And me. I have no idea what the Cked I'm supposed to do next. Do I break up with my boyfriend? Do I accept that maybe I'm not as straight as I thought? Do I pretend it never happened? All I know is, I really, really want it to happen again.
They tried to rob me, so I took them hostage instead. All right, so listen. I'm not some tough guy. I'm not John Wick. Hell, I'm not even that dude from Home Alone. I'm just a regular-ass person who happened to be in the right amount of crazy at the right time. And that's how I accidentally took my own robbers hostage. It was a regular Tuesday night, and I was chilling at home, minding my own business. I had just gotten off work, grabbed some fast food, and was sitting on my couch, half naked, eating fries, and watching YouTube like a civilized adult. That's when I heard a noise. Now, normally, I'd ignore it, because, let's be honest, it's probably just the neighbors arguing about dumb *T again. But this time, the noise was inside my apartment. At first, I thought, did I leave my front door open? Is my cat just committing war crimes in the kitchen? But no, because when I turned my head toward the hallway, I saw two grown-ass men in ski masks creeping into my living room. They stopped when they saw me. I stopped when I saw them. We all just kind of stared at each other for a second, and then one of them, let's call him dumbass number one, pulls out a knife and says, "Give us all your money and nobody gets hurt." Bro, I live in a shitty one-bedroom apartment, eating $5 takeout, watching videos on a TV that barely works. What, money? But instead of panicking, something in my brain just broke. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the fact that I was too dead inside to be scared. But instead of handing them my wallet, I just laughed. Like actual ugly laughed. And these dudes, they looked so ing confused. Now, here's the thing. These guys expected me to be scared. They expected me to beg for my life, to hand over my *T, to be another easy target. But instead, I was sitting there, half naked, holding a handful of fries, laughing in their faces, which completely threw them off their game. Dumbass number two goes, "What's so funny?" And through my wheezing, I say, "Bro, do I look like someone who has money?" Dumbass number one blinks, looks around my broke-ass apartment, the peeling wallpaper, the IKEA furniture held together with duct tape, the fact that my TV remote was literally a piece of cardboard with power written on it in Sharpie. And that's when I saw it. Hesitation. These guys weren't pros. They weren't experienced criminals. They were just two dumbass who probably thought robbing me was going to be quick and easy. So I made a very, very dumb decision. I lunged at them. I don't know what came over me, but I went full F asterisk ing gremlin mode. I launched myself at dumbass number one, grabbed his wrist, and twisted it so hard he dropped the knife. The dude yelped like a kicked puppy. Meanwhile, dumbass number two panicked and tried to run, except he slipped on a greasy-ass McDonald's bag I had left on the floor. Man went down like a cartoon character. Before they could regroup, I grabbed the knife, pointed at them, and because my brain was clearly still buffering, I yelled, "Sit the F asterisk down. This is a robbery." Bro, even I was confused. But it worked. These two grown men who had broken into MY house sat their asses down on my floor. Now, let me be clear, I had no plan. I was standing there, shirtless, holding a knife I didn't even know how to use, staring at two men who were way bigger than me, and realizing I had absolutely no F asterisk ing clue what to do next. So I did what any rational person would do. I made them sit there and rethink their life choices. I started interrogating them. Me? So what's the plan here, huh? Y'all robbing random apartments on a Tuesday. Dumbass number one. Yeah. Me. That's the stupidest F asterisk 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 ing plan I've ever heard. Dumbass number two. Well, it was working until now. We all kind of just sat there in awkward silence for a minute. I think at some point they realized I was crazier than them. Eventually, I called my neighbor, a retired ex-cop who lives across the hall. This man was ecstatic. Dude live for action. He storms in with his old baton. Sees me holding a knife like a dumbass. Sees two dudes sitting on my floor looking scared as hell, and goes, "What the F asterisk am I looking at?" We call the real cops. These dumbass get arrested. And the best part? The cops said that when they asked the robbers why they didn't fight back, dumbass number one literally said, "Dude was crazy. We didn't want to risk it." And that, my friends, is the story of how I turn a home invasion into the world's most unexpected hostage situation.
I fell in love with my dad's new girlfriend, and now I'm F asterisk Cked. Not literally. Yet. Alright, so let's just get this out of the way. I know I'm a horrible person. I know this is wrong, I know I should not be feeling like this, but my brain and my DCK are not communicating properly. And now I'm in deep SHT. So let's back up. My dad, let's call him Mike, is one of those men who should not be dating. Ever since my mom left him, can't blame her. He's been cycling through women half his age like a midlife crisis on steroids. Every few months there's a new one. Some Instagram model-looking chick who barely knows how to use a washing machine but somehow convinces him she's not like the others. They stick around just long enough to milk him for free vacations and jewelry, then bounce when they realize his credit score is about as stable as a three-legged chair. I don't even bother learning their names anymore. Until her. So one day, my dad brings home his new girlfriend and tells me this one is different. I roll my eyes, expecting another gold-digging airhead. Then she walks in. And bro, I was not ready. She wasn't like the others. She wasn't trying too hard, she wasn't fake laughing at his dumb jokes. She wasn't looking at him like a walking ATM. It was cool. Like stupidly cool. Hot as hell. Think, could ruin your life with a single smirk, levels of hot. Actually funny. Like sarcastic, quick-witted. Could roast my dad effortlessly. Smart. Like she had actual thoughts. Opinions. Movies. She wasn't just there for the luxury dinners. And the worst part. She was nice to me. Not in a fake, "Oh hey, your dad talks about you all the time" way. No, she actually talked to me like a normal person. Asked about my life. Made jokes. Even defended me when my dad started his usual, "Why don't you have a real job yet?" speech. And that's when it hit me. I was F asterisk king doomed. First, I told myself it was just a stupid crush. Like, yeah, she's hot, but she's dating my fking father. Move on, dude. Asterisk. But then, such asterisk T started getting worse. Because my dad. He's a piece of asterisk T. And Olivia. She was starting to notice. He'd flake on their dates. He'd talk over her like she was a child. He'd mansplain basic asterisk T to her like she was stupid. And every time he pulled some dumbass move, she'd glance at me. Like she was saying, "Can you believe this idiot?" And I'd glance back like, I know, right? And bro, that eye contact. That asterisk T started feeling dangerous. Because suddenly, it wasn't just me crushing on her. Felt like she saw me too. So one night my dad ditched her. Again. Some urgent business meeting. AKA. Probably playing poker with his equally washed-up friends. She was pissed. So she stayed back. With me. We were just drinking. Just talking. But then. She hit me with the, you're nothing like your dad line. And let me tell you, if you ever want to feel like the main character in a Cked up romance movie, have a ridiculously hot older woman look at you like that and say those words. For a solid 5 seconds, I thought I was about to make the biggest mistake of my life. But instead of acting on it, I just laughed it off like a dumbass. And you know what she did? She just smirked. Like she knew. Like she King knew. So now, every time she comes over, there's this weird tension. My dad is still a clueless idiot. Olivia and I still act normal. But every once in a while, I'll catch her giving me that look. And me. I am one bad decision away from ruining my entire King life. So yeah. Do I tell my dad I have feelings for his girlfriend? Do I ignore it and pretend I don't care? Do I wait for her to dump his ass and risk seeing if something's actually there? All I know is, I'm completely King. Crude. I hooked up with a random guy at a party. And now he's my stepbrother. Alright, let me just say this up front. I didn't know. I was not out here trying to live out some cursed Pornhub original storyline. I was just a regular girl making regular bad decisions, and somehow the universe decided to turn my life into King soap opera. Let's rewind. So, a few months ago I went to this wild-ass party. One of those classic, too many people in one house, beer pong in the kitchen, random dudes doing push-up contests for no reason type of parties. Now, at this point in my life, I was in my reckless era. Fresh out of a boring relationship, single, ready to make stupid choices. And that's when I met him. Let's call him Jake. Jake was hot. And not just in a cute boy from class way. No, this man looked like the kind of trouble you ruin your credit score for. Tall, cocky, a little too smooth for his own good. And, of course, I was drunk enough to think that was sexy. We started talking. Flirting. One thing led to another, and suddenly we were making out in a random bedroom. Fast forward an hour later and... well, we hooked up. I didn't even get his number. It was one of those nights. No strings, no expectations, no regrets. Or so I thought. Couple weeks go by. Life is normal. I don't even think about Jake. And then one night my mom calls me. Mom. I have some exciting news. Me. Please don't be pregnant. Mom. No. I'm engaged. Alright, cool, whatever. My mom's been dating this guy, let's call him Richard, for about a year. He seemed decent. A little boring but harmless. I didn't really care as long as he made her happy. But then she hits me with, I want you to meet his son. You're gonna love him. I should have known. I should have known. But I didn't. So we go to dinner. Me, my mom, Richard, and his mystery son. We get to the restaurant, and I'm sitting there, scrolling my phone, fully unprepared for what's about to happen. Then Richard walks in. And behind him, Jake, the random dude I hooked up with. My new King stepbrother. Bro. I think I physically stopped breathing. Jake sees me. See him. We both just stare at each other like we're in a bad Netflix drama. Meanwhile, our parents. Smiling like idiots. Richard. This is my son, Jake. I hope you two get along. Mom. You're practically siblings now. Siblings. Siblings. I wanted the ground to eat me alive. Meanwhile, Jake. This absolute menace. Just smirks at me like he's enjoying my suffering. And what's worse? Our parents are so in love that we keep getting forced to hang out. Family dinners, vacations, matching King Christmas pajamas. And every single time Jake just gives me that knowing look. Like, remember when we Cked? Because I do. So now I have two options. Pretend it never happened and live in eternal cringe. confess to my mom and risk ruining her engagement. And Jake. He's having the time of his King life with this. He keeps dropping inside jokes from that night, winking at me across the dinner table, and acting way too familiar. The worst part, I still think he's hot, which means I am officially going to hell.